There are only a few individuals responsible for housing the majority of migrants in our counties. Many of you will be familiar with one of the main culprits in Mayo, Cyril Duffy from Bal. Cyril is the main shareholder of Tyrawley Limited, which owns Brafey House Hotel, the Woods Hotel for Ukrainians, the Event Centre, currently the International Protection Centre, and also the new International Protection Centre in the Monin Retail Park. In this video, however, we're going to look at two other Mayo men who were getting rich from the human trafficking industry. Those being Mark Devaney and his business partner Declan Hallinan. These two are responsible for housing hundreds, if not over 1,000 migrants into our communities in Mayo in recent times, many of whom being young, healthy men. So far, they have put people into Ballycastle, Killala, Swinford and Ballina in Mayo, and in Enniscrone and Eastkey in Sligo. They also have property in Galway, in Leitrim and in the north of Ireland, and are rumoured to have just bought over 160 apartments beside UCD in Dublin. In Mayo, however, their most recent money spinner, or humanitarian effort as they might say it, is to house over 200 migrants in a partially constructed shell which has never been used or occupied in Moy Valley Retail Park in Ballina. Now there are serious planning related issues with this, however, and letters have been sent to Mayo County Council, to the planning section and to the enforcement section, as well as to the head of housing Tom Gilligan. However, the council seem to be ignoring the fine detail regarding planning permission and exemptions. The building in question has never been occupied or used for the use that it got planning permission for, and therefore it is not exempted from obtaining change of use planning permission. If we look at the specific wording here in section 3C subsection 2, it states the structure concerned has at some time been used for the purpose of its current class, being in class 1, 2, 3, 6 or 12. And then as well an extract from section 3D subsection 9, no development shall contravene a condition attached to a permission under the Act, or be inconsistent with any use specified or included in such permission. With this in mind, the proposed change of use will contravene the condition of the previously granted planning permission. Although there are clear and obvious issues with the planning here, I doubt it will impact in any way this migrant slum going ahead in Ballina. We have a corrupt government here in Ireland that at the stroke of a pen can change the laws to suit their own highly profitable human trafficking agenda driven by the EU and the WEF. And what do our local Mayo County councillors think of this latest influx of people into Ballina? In this recent newspaper article, most councillors were opposed to moving 200 plus refugees into this industrial unit, citing issues around the lack of consultation, lack of local services, and concerns with those entering the country without passports. This is a very misleading headline, by the way. More than likely these won't be refugees. These will be international protection applicants, and many of whom will be young migrant men here for economic reasons. We've asked the question before, and we'll ask it again. Where are all the women and the children? Where are all the sick people? Where are all the elderly? This is nothing more than a scam. Back to the article. Ballina councillor Mark Duffy had a different opinion than the other councillors quoted, saying that there were many success stories following the large influx of people into Mayo in the last 15 months, and said there was a nasty element trying to create an us versus them atmosphere. Councillor Mark Duffy has been made aware of the issue at Moy Valley Retail Park on numerous occasions, in person and in writing, and so far he has failed to engage in any meaningful way with the businesses in the park. Does Mark have a conflict of interest, I wonder? Well, he recently purchased a derelict property in Walsh Street, Ballina. This street was recently earmarked by the council for town centre rejuvenation, of which Mark would probably avail of council grants. Mark is also a 40% shareholder in a new hostel that opened in Ballina, posting about it on social media, but failing to state any interest that he had in the project. When the tourist season winds down, do you expect that we'll see any migrant men moved into Duffy's hostel? So with all that in mind, is Mark Duffy a councillor for the people, or is he a businessman with the inside track? Now, as well as the planning issues already highlighted, there are other reasons why this retail park is not suitable to house 200 plus migrants. Firstly, Moy Innovations Limited and Dolman Rainbow Cleaners provide employment and work opportunities for disadvantaged people in the community, mainly people with disabilities and mental health difficulties. How will this new migrant slum affect these people on a day-to-day basis going to work? Secondly, the park facilitates learner drivers to gain experience. Will this be possible in the future? Then you will have the additional security concerns for all businesses and employees in the park. As well as that, insurance costs for businesses will increase, and it will be more difficult to bring in new leases into the park, while other businesses are considering pulling out. And finally, there are no footpaths from the retail park into town, which is along a narrow road which is used 24/7 by commercial vehicles. But none of this will bother the two boys. Declan Hallinan is involved in 15 different companies and lives in the Enniscrone countryside in his beautiful big house. I wonder, will Declan be taking any refugees into his house, seeing that he's got so much space? Well, we decided to ask him. Unfortunately, he wasn't home on that occasion. We'll try him again some other time. And what about his business partner, Mark Devaney from Ballina? Devaney is the owner of the Ocean Sands Hotel in Enniscrone. He expects the people of Enniscrone to support his business, yet in return shows total disregard for locals by dumping international asylum seekers, many of whom are young, healthy, economic migrant men, into the area, all in the name of profit and greed. Do you think the locals should continue to support the Ocean Sands Hotel? Well, this is a question we wanted to put directly to Mr. Devaney. How are you doing?
Well,
Mark Devaney, is it?
yeah.
How are you doing? Stephen Kerr, Irish Inquiry.
Good luck.
Just wanted to ask you a few questions. No comment on this occasion, it seems. Mr. Devaney had 18 different companies, 12 of which are now closed. We don't know why. We do know, however, that he is listed in the Stubbs Gazette for owing €24,666. With the money he's making now, no doubt he'll be able to settle that debt. If anybody happens to know either of these two men, please get in touch with them and ask them how much money they're making from this ongoing human trafficking scam, and when they're intending to stop destroying our little country. By the way, after the last video we did exposing what Devaney was up to, he stopped driving around in his flashy BMWs and instead has been seen driving around in a little white van. These people don't like their dirty dealings being uncovered. If you have any information on either of these guys, please get in touch. We need to expose the enemies of Ireland.